I'm so excited for today. It's gonna be the funnest day of work like ever. But I really don't want to turn this video into like one of those productivity hacks of things, you know, where it's like showing you how to spend your time. Instead, I really want to focus on something a lot more fundamental to just succeeding in a content marketing business. And that is that every hour you spend on your business today is going to determine what the result is going to be a few months, 6 months, a year from now in your business, because everything we do is building content that piles up over time. But before we get to that, Ricky gets to work later than I do, and so I always am looking for ways that I can make his mornings interesting.
Oh yeah, no, got you, I got you. You're mine, sucker, buddy. Let's. Oh yeah, we got some food in here. That's a. Gotta get a couple on the ground. Yeah. One more, boys.
Guys, why are there chickens in my office? Yeah, there's like 8 chickens in my office.
Oh my gosh.
There's poop everywhere. Oh, that smells so bad.
I knew today was going to be a good day. Okay, but seriously, I want to show you something called ClickUp. ClickUp is a tool that allows you to stay organized with your content plan. And I have had plenty of times in my business where I was working on so many projects, but I just wasn't seeing the result. And every time that has happened, when I look back what happened a year previous to that, I was working on stuff, but not focusing on producing a volume of high quality content. So I used to work off just a notes app on my phone that would just, these are the videos I'm making, these are the blog posts I'm writing, and this is when they're going to publish, that kind of thing. And that worked okay, but I would find it was too disorganized, and I sometimes lost important ideas, and sometimes I missed deadlines that I'd go 2 weeks and hadn't published a new blog post and stuff. So ClickUp is a cool tool to really keep you on track with your content calendar. The way it works is with spaces. When somebody has an idea for a video, they can assign it to someone and send it to that person so that they can begin working on it, or say, hey, I want to film with you this day, or say, hey, this needs to go to the editor. And you can set a priority for like, hey, these are my better ideas, I want to work on these soon, or this one can wait a little bit, it's kind of an okay idea, needs some refinement. So just having this tool has enabled us to move way faster on our content marketing. I thought we were fairly well organized until we got ClickUp, and then I just realized, man, we're moving way faster. So it's a pretty cool tool. Use whatever works for you. Trello, just a note on your phone. But even if you're solo, one single content creator, you've got to have a good content calendar. All right, enough talking. Now it's time to actually create a piece of content. I've been hearing from a lot of you who are a little bit intimidated with just the process of getting started with your website. So I want to show you how exactly I'm doing that. So every time I sit down to create a video, write a blog post, anything, I'm going into ClickUp that I mentioned before. I'm not making the outline for this video, I'm making the outline for the next piece of content that I create. By doing that, by kind of separating your brainstorming from actually writing or making a video, it removes the writer's block, because every time I sit down, I know I have a blog post already outlined and I just need to write it. So I'm going to go into ClickUp and let's make a video for margin. So this is me and Ricky's channel on personal finance. Ooh, okay, so I see this one called College Majors to Avoid If You Want to Have a Future. So it's an idea we had at some point, and I'm just going to do a little bit of research. I'm going to go look on statistical sites of, how much you make for each college major and stuff. I'm also going to put some anecdotal stuff of just, I had a friend who did that and they had a hard time getting a job, that kind of information in there. and I'm just gonna make a very rough outline. I never, ever script the videos or the content at this point. It's just like major bullet points that I want to do. So I'll write this out, and then once I have that, I am ready for the next time. But now I'm gonna go to one that's already outlined with my few bullet points here, and I'm ready to go. So it's time to go create content. So I leave this camera just always set up, and see if we gotta go get a memory card. So this is another part of the system. So we have these bowls over here that we just have SD cards and micro SD cards so that they're always there. If it's in the bowl, it means it's used and it's ready to go. And then we'll put it in a different case when it goes to the editor. So I'll put in the card, and I'll put this in my lav mic, but I can't right now because it's already recording for this video. These Tascam DR10L. So if you want to see the exact gear we're using, go to incomeschool.com and click tools, and then you'll see our recommendations for video gear, everything that we're doing. So I'll roll this table out. And I usually just stick my notes just over here, just tiny. It's really only a few bullet points that I'm doing. I'll put on just the light here. These are cheap lights. These are newer brand. It costs almost nothing. It just makes the video look a lot nicer. Like you can see, like right now, you just kind of get weird shadows under your eyes and stuff from all the can lights in the room. When you stand over here in the light, it just fills in your eyes and stuff. Just looks a little bit nicer, not so many kind of weird shadows and stuff going on. So when I have the outline here, I'm just gonna come up with a hook, whatever money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. Oh, young Jim, I remember when you were 20 years old, young and stupid. Still stupid, but I have learned a few things about college majors to avoid, whatever. And I'm gonna talk about the different things in here. I'm gonna do the entire video as one take, never go back. If I mess something up royally, I'm gonna just usually start the video over. I like it to just have that flow to the whole video. Sometimes we'll go back a little bit to a thing, but usually it's the whole take, and then we'll edit things in as we go. So that's our process for creating a video, but now I wanna show you a blog post. That is going back to a video we did about a year ago. If you remember the one where Ricky and where I sent Ricky on the dirt bike chase, that's really what we'll do for creating a blog post. So I want you to go check out that video if you haven't already seen it. It's really a process of, getting your topic, writing the answer paragraph and your subtitles, and then boom, 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 filling them in. You need to have a system that works for you, whatever your system is, so that when you are ready to create content in that one precious hour that you have before work or on your lunch break or on a Saturday where you can steal away 3 hours before the kids wake up, however you're doing it, you have to be productive. And so a system like this, where I know when I have on my calendar during the week, Monday afternoon I'm recording margin videos, like yesterday, Ricky and I, boom, 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 we knocked out 4 or 5 of them. And that's more than a month of content in one afternoon that's ready to go. But you can only do that if you have a system. All right, we're heading to lunch at a place right over here. I want to talk a little bit about burnout. With everyone being home for extended periods of time, and a lot of you just really cranking it out, becoming content warriors on your websites, you hear a lot about burnout. I don't really burn out. Hardly at all, because I just love creating content. I love what I do. But when you don't see the success yet, you're just getting started, that's one motivation that's removed. And then sometimes you haven't yet learned what part of content marketing you're good at and you really enjoy. I found myself last week looking at the clock to see when it was time to go. And I thought, I can't remember the last time in 10 years that I have wanted work to end and like was looking at the clock. I love my home life, but I love what I do here. I just want to encourage you to figure out what your zone of genius, as Gay Hendricks calls it, is in content marketing. Is it creating the videos and you hate the editing? Then let's outsource that. Is it, doing the search analysis but you hate the writing? Then let's outsource that after you learn how to do it yourself. You need to figure out where you are the most effective in your business and then do that thing over and over and over again. So we set up a calendar that, Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, etc., to make sure that I'm spending my time where I'm most valuable to the company. You need to do the same thing if you want the results a year from now to look how you're hoping they'll look. I want you to meet someone, two people. This is Nate. Say hi, Nate.
Hey, guys.
And Anna. Some of you have met them on either our Instagram that Nate runs or the Vid School channel, which you guys do. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, which you guys should check out. It's Vid School. We're young, right? We're young in subscribers, but they're coming.
In fact, we actually just did a challenge. If you're gonna head over to our Vid School YouTube channel, you might wanna check this out. Actually, it's pretty cool. So what we did is we made 52 videos in only 24 hours. And what we wanted to do is actually make content for an entire year and put it out there, one video a week, to make passive income. I know a lot of you bloggers out there kind of want to stay in blogging, and it's a hard transition to make it over to YouTube, but we just wanted to show you that it really is possible. If you go over to Vid School, please check that out.
So I wanted to talk a little bit though about just how to grow, because I know a lot of you are to the point that you're at least envisioning a future of having multiple brands. You start one website and you immediately want to have a portfolio of different websites or multiple YouTube channels. And what I have learned over the last few years that has been painful is that you really need a mission for your company first. I know that seems like a little, when I hear somebody say like, write your mission statement, I'm like, whatever, get in the trenches and make a business already, right? It just feels too philosophical, but I learned that actually was what was missing in our company. That we were making so many different brands on who knows what, a pet website, a camping website, a whatever, boating, photography, it was just all over the map. And eventually we said, you know what, we just need a company mission. And then every piece of content we create should somehow be tied into that mission. And so Income School's mission is to help people like you to provide well for their families by creating an online business. When we wanted to expand from Income School, we created WP School, WordPress School, that's Nathan's channel, who's not here today. Because that channel is all about teaching you WordPress. It's something that we didn't really want to cover on this channel. It would be kind of weird if we did a specific WordPress tutorial on this channel, but you, this audience, would be interested in it. Vid School, we do talk about YouTube on here a lot, but a lot of you are here mostly for the blogging, and so we talk about mostly that, so we created Vid School for that. But it's all coming to that same mission of the company. And so it's something that I would just really encourage you to just think about, don't obsess with, but just instead of creating random things in random industries that you may later regret, really think about, what do I want my company to accomplish in the life of my audience? And then let's create brands that are adjacent at least to accomplishing that same purpose. I want to help people, beginners enjoy the outdoors who aren't from an outdoors kind of family. Then great, let's make a hiking site focused on beginners and a fishing site and a whatever, all on that mission. All right, I spend a lot of time out here on the couches when I'm kind of brainstorming things, but the last thing I want to talk about is just becoming a content warrior is having the work-life balance. Every family is going to approach the work-life balance differently. For me specifically, I found that when I tried to really divide my life in half, and I had family life and I had work life, I didn't like it very much. If work isn't interesting enough that I don't bring some element of it home and I want to talk about it and I'm still interested in it, then work isn't that good, right? And if family life isn't good enough that when I come to work, I don't want to talk about what I'm doing on the weekend and plans with my kids and texting during the day, then my family life isn't very good. And so I found like that division line was what the problem was, and I needed to blur them a little bit more.
I'm kind of a little bit more the other way. I don't totally delineate between the two, but what my family needs from me is when I get home to kind of shut work off, because I have a natural tendency to check the email and check in on customer support stuff, jump into our community and see how people are doing and answer questions throughout the evening, and that pulls me away and distracts me from the family. And so because I know I have that tendency of, again, actually working, not mentally, I love work. And so that's what I talk about with my wife all the time. There's that, but if I don't shut off the actual work, then it bleeds way too much into family time. So I do have to delineate more. So I think it makes sense for you to just kind of figure out what's healthy and what makes you happy, because that's really what it comes down to.
And you just have to get on the same page with your spouse.
Yep.
You have to know what this whole thing is for, why are you spending this time working on an online business, what it's trying to accomplish, what you think the returns are going to be, and how long it's going to take to get there. They need to know that in order to be able to support you. And for my wife, like, one of the reasons that I blur the lines is because it's good for her. Like, she always calls it mommy brain. She's, taking care of the kids, and like when I get home and I can talk about a problem at work, we really enjoy talking through it, and it's good. But it's interesting, like, it is just different in every family. And so find what works for you. And speaking of family, it's time to go home. See you tomorrow.
See ya. Jim! Why are there chickens in my office?
Some people give presents. I give chickens.
The real question, are there any eggs in here? That's the real question.
Oh my gosh.